guys, welcome back to another episode of the Closing Time Chronicles. My name is Allie Tabor, and today we are sitting down with Tristan Buell. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Buell.
Yeah.
This less enunciation, but it's.
Where does that originate from?
We think it's just like a German type.
Okay.
Esque. My dad, he's really into the Ancestry.com. They've been doing it for years. They got it all down pat, but to me, it's.
Tabor's the same way. My dad says the same thing, that it's like Cajun French or German.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where it's from.
Well,
it's very different.
I mean, most of the Buell family side is up like Michigan, North area like that. There's not too many of us down here, Southern.
Got you.
I'm one of the few Buells that it's like born, raised in Louisiana.
Okay. Interesting.
Like my dad, he's from Michigan.
Okay.
So I like to mess around. I got a little bit of northern blood in me.
Okay. A little northern attitude.
A little bit, but I don't like to claim it too much.
I don't blame you. My mom's a Yankee, and we give her crap for it all the time, so I feel that.
But it is nice to visit. I prefer our weather more than up there.
Me too.
I couldn't live anywhere that's got all the snow and I got to shovel it. I'd rather rain, hurricanes. I guess we're used to it.
We're because we're raised in it. We're just incorporated in it better. Like when we got snow for 2 days last year, loved it, but I could not live in it. That was all. Like if I got that once every 5 years, I'm cool with it. That's all I need.
Yeah, I think even once a year, I'm good with that. I've never been the best skier or snowboarder. I've tried.
I'm scared.
The ground is not very comfortable when you hit it.
No, it freaks me out. I'm already a clumsy person, so I think that's a quick trip to an ER.
Yeah, it makes me feel worse when we go and they have the kids that are doing it perfect, and I'm falling right next to them.
Yes.
And one of them tried to give me tips, and I was just like, all right, this
isn't good for my head right now.
No, this isn't good. Like a 6-year-old.
Yeah. Okay. So you work with England Volkers.
Yeah.
What led you into real estate?
So I was doing full-time National Guard. I just graduated college and hurricane hit.
Okay.
Then I went from that hurricane to training in Missouri for about a year and a half. Then I went and another hurricane hit as soon as I came back.
Typical.
So, and then they hired me on full-time at that point because I've been doing it for so long. Mm-hmm. I was just kind of tired of the repetitiveness.
Okay.
So I just started looking, saw an ad for E&V, and I was just like,
why not?
Let me try. I learned my thought when I clicked it. I was like, I don't know anything about real estate.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
And so I clicked it, did an interview with Amanda, and she loved me, and now we're here.
That's awesome. What's something that kept you here in the market?
Knowing that it was going to be tough in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get into real estate thinking it's easy money, everything like that. I knew it was not going to be easy. I had to work through the hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my goal. Statistically, people get in, they drop out about 2 years into their license. I wasn't going to say nothing. But
no, typical.
But statistically, that's when people drop out. So I told myself if I could make it through this, it's going to get better. And this is going to my 4th year, and things have just grown exponentially.
That's awesome.
So that's why I'm still here, and too, because I enjoy it, and it's different every single transaction.
Yes, 100%.
The people are different, the way you have to work it, how you have to get things done. Yeah. It's always different. So that's what keeps me in, because it's something new every single time. It's not this, like you go to work, you know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
This is like, I don't know what's going to happen today or how this deal is going to go.
Absolutely. Everybody's different. And I think that's what keeps things interesting and fun, like you said. It's like, you never know what hands are going to be dealt. Mm-hmm. How would you describe your style, like approaching clients? Like I know everyone's different, but do you have any consistent themes?
Mine is just being, I guess, brutally honest.
Yeah,
to an extent with people. Yeah. Like I'll tell them like, hey, the odds of this happening are very low. If you want to do it, I'm game to do it, but I'm going to tell you this ain't going to work, or pointing out reasons why they shouldn't do things or should do things. Because I had one guy who was buying a $30,000 property investment. Mm-hmm. And it was cash. He was like, he didn't have to do an inspection or appraisal. I was like, dude, you need to do an inspection. I don't care if it's $30,000 or not. Do it. Spend the money. Just make sure you're good. Mm-hmm. He spent the money on it. Found out there's termites underneath. The roof was way worse than we thought. And he was like, Tristan, this is the best, $300 I spent.
Absolutely.
He was going to spend 30. It was going to have to be like a tear down pretty much.
Right. So it changes the game from from something where it's like, oh, we're just gonna change a couple things interior to like a foundational problem.
Yeah. So like just stuff like that. Like I guess that's my go-to thing is just I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you don't want to do it, hey, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But when you come back to me at the end, like Tristan, we shouldn't have done this. I told you,
Yes. And some people need that sounding board because everybody has their own different personalities, and they need somebody who's like that strong personality. Otherwise, I see it where clients can bulldoze their agents, and then like, well, why didn't you tell me this? It's like, well, I tried. So having that isn't necessarily I wouldn't call that a bad trait. Like that is a strong trait to have, to give that leadership with your clients. I know that you are on a team with Lamar. Let's talk about that. What is Nexus? How did you guys get here?
So this is our second year. This is really our first year officially being a team. Before we were kind of like loosely, like we didn't have a name. It was just me and Lamar working together.
Okay.
But it gets to a point where it's like, oh, hey, we're doing great individually. Why don't we combine our efforts together and then go from there? So that's why we started like working together unofficially, just kind of testing the waters.
Sure.
Then Amanda eventually gave us a green light saying, hey, I think y'all are ready to make this official. Start getting your ducks in a row.
Sure.
So it's really me and Lamar, we're partners on Nexus. We're both owners of it and everything like that. So it's really just for us to start putting resources together and start growing as a team and start bringing people underneath us and start training them up too. Because that's the next stepping stone from going from individual.
That was going to answer my next question.
Yeah. So, and you want to always start off an individual. Sometimes people do teams that they learn. I was on Amanda's team my first year. That's how I learned everything. But then you really want to be individual. Then eventually make your own team, and then that's the next step is becoming a broker.
Okay.
So like some people skip that middle step, and I think having a team first is a crucial part. Because I think if you just go from individual to being a broker, you miss that whole like development area in the middle.
Yeah, the middle management, for lack of a better word.
That's what a lot of people do is they just go from individual to broker. And I feel like we're just going to take it slow and do the team.
Yeah.
Get that down pat. Once we have a successful team, turn that into a brokerage maybe down the road. And we don't have like a time frame or anything like that on it.
It's just kind of vibes.
Yeah, it's just like when we get there, when we know we're there,
then you're there. Yeah. Then that's a different conversation. So what is like I guess maybe this is probably a question you'll be able to answer later, but partnership versus team structure, I'm assuming that's something that you're going to grow into, but is there anything right off the bat that changed moving from the team to a partnership mentality?
Really just having a more set of eyes on things. And
sure.
Because like Lamar will call me like, hey, what would you do? And I'll call Lamar, what would you do? Having that like partner that you can fall back on, or like, hey, I'm going on vacation, can you take care of this?
Yep.
Kind of deal. Or two, just pulling the resources together, because now when you hire us, you're not really just getting one person. You're getting two. And so some of our bigger clients too, having that like, hey, you've got 2 or 3 guys that will be here for you no matter what.
No matter what.
That helps give them that peace of mind too. Like,
absolutely.
Hey, you're not just getting one person.
It's additional resources.
Yes.
How do you guys divide like your strengths and like to keep each other accountable?
So they like to mess with I'm the patient one.
Okay. I would never guess that.
I'm I guess chock full of too much patience. I think it's a lot of the military stuff. Like
sure.
I don't like to wear the emotions on the sleeve. Is that the heart on my sleeve kind of deal?
Yeah.
But that's really me, is to be the patient. Like, let's talk through things. The Mars are like, hey, let's get up, let's go get it.
Very motivational.
So that's how we are different, but it's like you need both sides of that. Hey, let's go get them. All right, let's think this through. Let's pull the trigger kind of deal. I don't know if that really answers the question.
No, it does, because I think that when I look at you guys, I think that you guys are both so similar, but when you put it that way, it does make sense.
Which you need that in a good partnership. You don't need 2 people that think the exact same way 100% of the time. You need a little bit different, in my opinion, is if you're not, 100% both thinking the same thing, then maybe your ideas combine them together can make something a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's at least how I believe. And I always believe you don't want to be the smartest in the room.
I agree. I think if you're the smartest person in the room, you're the dumbest person in the room.
Yeah, you need a new room if you're the smartest person. So like, that's why I like surrounding myself with like Lamar. He has a commercial aspect of things. I don't really know much about commercial. So like if I do get that, I have him to fall back on that.
Yeah.
And vice versa for other like aspects of our, careers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I like the way you said it better, because in my opinion, when somebody thinks that they're the smartest person in the room, you're right, maybe they are. But I'm like, I always think that there is something to learn from somebody else, if that makes sense.
Even if it's a little bit, it's still something.
Absolutely.
Even if it's like really minute point, but it still could be something that's worth taking on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Getting back to like working with clients specifically, what are advice that you may have to buyers coming into the fall season?
Don't wait until you find the right house. That's a lot of people. They go on Realtor.com, Zillow. They find a house, then they inquire, not looking at their finances.
Yep.
We really prefer when people get pre-approved before and know like exactly what their budget is, what they need to look for, because that makes it a lot easier in the back end. So that's, a lot of people just don't do that. Sure. I would say 90% of people start their home buying search with clicking the button on the house that they like.
Yep.
Not knowing their finances, their credit, any of that stuff. They just click the button and then we take it from there.
Yeah.
So I know it's probably preaching to the choir. Everyone's like, get pre-approved first, but at least get your finances together. Know where your credit score is at.
Know your numbers. Yeah. Know your numbers for sure. Would you prefer someone to come straight to you like, hey, I'm ready to start the process. I like this house. Meaning like where you can direct them to a lender, or would you rather, hey, I've got this pre-approval in my hand and then I came to you? Because you probably have your own team as well.
Yes, I like using people that I've used before as far as like lenders, title company, and stuff like that. At least at the end of the day, like reaching out to me first, then saying like, hey, have people in mind. Because when it comes to lenders, every lender is different on what they accept, don't accept, what they can work with, maybe program, stuff like that. So at least reach out to me first, tell me kind of like how your things are looking, then I can connect you with the right lender.
Yeah.
Because you could spin your wheels talking to a bunch of lenders, they tell you no, but you're talking to the wrong ones. The ones that maybe have higher requirements or don't have a program, that maybe need down payment assistance or something like that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what discourages people a lot too. Because they, see
they got to
know
here, and then they're like, oh, well, I guess I can't buy.
Yeah, because I tell people that all the time. There's no shame in shopping around when it comes to lenders.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, but just because one person tells you no, or even the second person, doesn't mean it's a no across the board. You're just maybe talking to people that are a little bit more stringent on what you can and can't do for their company.
Sure. Everybody has different magic they can make.
Yeah, and especially if you're talking to someone that's like a national company.
Yes, instead of a local lender.
Yeah, local lenders, I've never had any issues.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever had deals fall through was with companies that are like in Arizona. They're just licensed here and stuff like that. They don't understand the area because Louisiana is different.
It is different.
We have different laws. We have different laws. We have different ways of doing things. So it's better to just have someone that's a local person that knows. Again, I've only had 2 deals ever fall through because of financing, and they're both national companies. Like one was in Arizona, the other one was in Idaho.
Like, that's random.
Yeah, so it's just where that office was.
Sure. Okay.
But those are the only ones that ever had an issue with that.
What about sellers before their listing? What advice would you give to them? Like, hey, I'm thinking about like for example, my mom's thinking about listing her house. She's got a realtor, but she's like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I'm like, well, call your realtor. But before they get to that step, what advice are you giving them?
Fix up what you can. Like if you got flooring issues, if you've got cosmetic things that you can easily fix them now, because right now it's not a seller's market.
Right.
If we're talking like as of today, it's not a seller's market. You have more listings, less buyers, and so you have to, when they come see your house for the first time, it's got to be the best possible it could look.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that cosmetic thing will be that determining factor.
Sure.
So that's what I would recommend is if there's things that could come up that people can see off the bat, get those things fixed. If there's other things that maybe internally that maybe someone doesn't see initially, we can keep those in the back of the mind, but you need someone that wants to put the offer in first and then we can work out those other issues.
Yeah,
just being aware too. I'm a big fan of like transparency too.
100%.
If you know something's messed up,
just get it. Be proactive.
Either get it fixed or set some money aside because you know it's going to come up.
Sure.
And just tell that from the beginning, because you don't want to get all the way through a process like close to the end and things start popping up because you weren't truthful, and that just causes more issues than anything.
Absolutely.
So just being transparent from the get-go saves you a lot more in the back.
Saves you a lot of time, energy, and just mental capacity is how I like to say it, because I'll get overwhelmed, overstimulated, and I'm like, we could have fixed this on the front end. You know? What are other trends that you see in our local market?
Our local market, I mean, a lot of people, the prices aren't really going down too much. You are seeing a little bit of price drop on houses. They've just been sitting on the market for a long time, but it's a lot of people waiting for something big to happen.
Sure.
People are still selling their houses. People are still buying houses, but it's not like at a huge fast rate as it was maybe during COVID time or something like that.
And I think that kind of spoiled that image for a lot of us, because we remember things in that market. And I hope I don't think that our market could sustain having that happen again. And I think that kind of spoiled the industry a little bit in everybody's heads, like, oh, I'm waiting for this to happen again.
Yes. So I personally think a healthy market is anywhere from, like, without buying your interest rate down or anything like that, you either have like a 5 to 5.5.
Okay.
That's a healthier market.
I agree.
Because if we were in the 3s and the 4s, it's just going to be chaos. House prices are going to shoot back up.
Yep.
That's a lot that people don't think about either. Buyers, at least, they think about the interest rate.
Yes.
Not thinking about, oh, that house is going to grow in value. Say if rates do go down to 3%, the house is not going to sell for the price it is listed for. It's going to go up, because we saw that during COVID.
Yeah.
People are paying more for houses, not getting closing costs. When right now, if you're a buyer, you have a little bit higher interest rate, but you can get closing costs.
Sure.
You can get more things fixed.
Sure.
It's easier in that regard, but people just like to look at the interest rate and not look at...
I think they get sticker shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the news doesn't help either.
No.
So the news reports like a national level of stuff.
Exactly.
And to bring it back, Louisiana is different. We're behind the curve. If you look at any other state in their housing market, we're typically a couple months behind on that trend, usually. So when you're seeing in the news, it probably won't hit us for another
couple months.
So people don't think about that either.
Yeah.
We are one of the more affordable areas too.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
If you look at some of these other states,
it's different.
Those houses are going for a lot more.
Yeah.
So we are still comparatively, affordable, but it's all about perspective too.
Absolutely. What is something that is a common misconception about working with realtors? Speaking about things that are on the news, like NAR settlement, stuff like that. What's a major misunderstanding in your opinion?
Everyone thinks it's a 6%.
Yeah.
As always, like, they're like, oh, aren't you getting 6%? I'm like, no. And people have always heard 6% because that's usually what the listing agent would secure, 6%, then divide that up. Now we're having to have the conversations before we go into the house saying, hey, this is my fee. We can either sign for this house or you can hire me on fully, but this is going to be my fee. We can still ask the seller to pay it.
Yeah.
But we have to disclose it up front.
Sure.
And so that's kind of my biggest misconception I hear about is commission stuff. And now we have to talk about it beforehand. That's clarifying a little bit more, but still I was like, oh, well, should the seller pay? I'm like, yeah, the seller is going to pay for it. We're still going to ask for it.
Right.
Or it's like, oh, I thought it was 6%. I'm like, it's never really traditionally been 6% per agent, but everyone thinks each agent gets like 6%. I
would have been a lot cooler if it was.
Yeah. And Joan, I would love that. Right. But that's not the reality.
It's not the reality of it, no. But I do agree. I feel like that's a really common question that I have gotten in the past as well. Like, oh, you're making all this, and no. Like, there's so many other things that go into it as well. And I think the NAR settlement put a really bad taste in people's mouths, but I do think that it should have already been an industry standard explaining that to sellers where that money is going if they are paying that other agent.
And I thought it was a strange thing, the NAR lawsuit, because I thought everyone discussed with the seller where the money was going. So I did that. My very first listing, I did that. That's how I was taught to do it. So I was like, does everyone not do this?
I had the same conversation because when I was in real estate, we had those conversations with buyers or sellers. Like buyers, like, hey, my fee is 3%. I'll do it for 2.5 if we need to.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the seller to cover this, but if they can't, what can you do? Like, so those conversations had already been something that we were having. That entire boutique brokerage as a whole. Shout out Katie Real Estate. But coming here, like, I had been out of the real estate game and I came to Legacy like within the same week it was happening. And it was like this big mix up with a lot of agents that I was talking to. And I'm like, I thought that it was just the difference in associations coming from one market to another.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you said that because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I think it's just a different conversation.
Yeah.
It's just a different conversation.
And to be fair about the NAR stuff, that was in a bunch of other states, not here. So I don't recall seeing like Louisiana being like necessarily a part of it.
I don't think so, but I remember the communication about it though, like the conjuncture about it, just the shuffle and the buffle.
But I like where we're at now because now when we get the exclusive right sign at the door, so because used to you'd have people call you up being like, hey, can I go see this house? You go show them, and they're like, oh, I'll go tell my agent I love the house. And now what do? Like, it became a whole sticky situation.
That was another thing that was kind of an industry standard. Like, and maybe that was just me as a woman. I'm not going to show a house unless you have a pre-approval or signed or we met in person. Yeah. But maybe that was me taking maybe extra precautions.
In a perfect world, like you'd want someone to come pre-approved. But again, like I told you, 90% of people don't get pre-approved.
You're right.
So at least my thing is I'll go show 1-2 houses to you before you get a pre-approval. But after that, I need you to put the effort in, get pre-approved so that we just don't keep looking at houses.
We don't want to spin our wheels and not know what the finances are. Yeah.
And the best way I explain it to people is like, all right, we can go look at 10 houses. You're not pre-approved. With the 10th house, you love it. Yeah. You're not pre-approved. Say we go see it on a Saturday. You can't get pre-approved till the next week. Someone puts an offer in on Saturday or Sunday. You lost a house that you love now.
Right.
And now every house after that does not look the same as a house that, I could have seen my kids in this house and stuff like that. So it's like, get the pre-approval. So 1-2, we know what budget you want to be in. We could be looking at houses in the 250s, and you get that pre-approval, that mortgage note. Oh, I don't think I can support that mortgage. Now we need to look lower because that helps too. Because like we could be looking at $250,000 houses, and at the end of the day, that's gonna make your house poor.
Yeah. And that's a conversation they need to be having with their lender of like, hey, your max may be 250, but can you afford that monthly payment? Should we be at 225? And so it's having those questions so that they can communicate that with you, so you're showing them the right properties.
Yeah. So we don't not wasting a bunch of time because maybe we could have gone and seen a house that you did like the mortgage note on it.
Yeah.
And maybe we wasted to go and look at a house that we really didn't go see.
Yeah.
And there's other factors like flood zone, the roof age, all that kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Which having the lender involved, knowing what you can and can't do, helps us take homes out that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
And saves you time. It doesn't make you feel like this is a wasted process.
Absolutely.
So I have had clients before where we went and seen 20 houses and none of them work out and just get discouraged. Because like, oh, well, this got this issue or that issue or, whatever. And it just discourages them. So if we can keep it down to a small amount that we know could work for you.
It helps their tolerance.
Yes.
Yes.
And it makes it a much more enjoyable process.
Because it should be fun.
Yeah.
Especially like the searching for homes part. That should be fun and energetic, not like strenuous, because then that just kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth for the entire process.
Exactly.
Speaking of loans, let's talk about VA loans.
Okay.
Being in the National Guard, how does that help you, give you kind of advantage when you're looking at stuff like that?
So I guess when I first got into real estate, I kept hearing how hard the VA loan is. No one wants to do them and everything like that. And I was like, I don't understand why. So I started going to classes.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And I was like, okay, it's really not that hard. I think the biggest thing is people just didn't understand it. Or people think it's, don't get me wrong, it is a little bit more strict of a loan when it comes to how the house has to be and everything like that. But besides that, it's an amazing product. Like you don't have any PMI. private mortgage insurance. You don't have any of that. It's 100% financing. It does have the VA funding fee, which people aren't aware of too much either. It goes up each time you use the VA loan. I believe it's 2.1 or 2.2 your first time. So you do technically have some closing costs, but that's to keep the loan going, essentially. But if you do have 100% disability, you don't have that fee.
Got you.
But it goes up, I think, almost 1% each time you use the loan.
Yeah. And who qualifies? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Who qualifies for VA loans? Like, is it all veterans, all National Guard? Like,
so there's about 4 or 5 different ways you can qualify for it.
Okay.
I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I know for the National Guard, you have to be in for 6 years.
Okay.
That's one. Like, if you were in the Guard for 7 years and you got out, you could get your VA loan. You could meet one of the requirements. Some for like active duties, like being 90 days active duty.
Got it.
Stuff like that. But it all depends. Like, there's so many different ways you can qualify for it. You really, at the end of the day, you just need your certificate of eligibility, the COE.
Okay.
They have websites for it too. You can go look it up. You can go look it up, see if you qualify for it or not. If you do, you got to print it out and give it to a lender.
That's awesome.
And you can get it. But it's a really great product. It's just no one really knows about it, or everyone thinks it's such a hard thing to use.
Yeah, I remember hearing that as well, like wanting to steer clear of VA, like listers, or like when I was in it was a seller's market and they didn't want certain loans.
Yes.
And I get like FHA, VA, like RD, like those can sometimes, like they have different rules, and like a conventional loan probably has the least amount of rules.
Yes.
But I do agree that it has its advantages if you do qualify.
Yeah. For the VA, I mean, and those kind of markets too hurt those loan types.
Sure.
Like, I was getting in at the tail end of COVID. That's probably why we were hearing about the VA RD, is because a lot of people were buying cash or conventional. That was what was winning during the COVID time.
Yeah.
But now that we're kind of like more in I would say more laid back, not as the house goes on the market, they got 10 showings kind of market. Those are, you're seeing more VA, more rural development and stuff like that, because they're not really that hard at the end of the day, as long as you have maintained your house, and you don't have a hole in your roof or foundation problems. You can rock with any of those loans. And two, educating soldiers is the big issue as well.
Yeah.
The time I was in the National Guard, we never had a class at all to teach soldiers like how do you get your VA loan, just so because they could get in, they could sign a 3-year contract just to serve and everything. But if they know they could get the VA loan, if they just serve 3 more years, maybe you'd have people that would stay in that extra 3 years to be able to make sure they can get that loan.
Got it.
Or maybe in those 3 years they achieve one of the ways they could get the loan, and then they decide, hey, I'm going to get out and I can use my VA loan.
Right.
They only had one class actually at my unit when I started real estate. I was like, hey, these guys need to know about it, because they all started asking me questions. And so finally I convinced them to do a class. That was the one time out of like 8 years that they ever taught soldiers, like, hey, this is how you get your VA loan.
Yeah.
And this is how you can use it, and this is the benefits, which I just thought was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We have this whole thing. Even people in the real estate industry are like, oh, don't use it. And then you have the Army not teaching them how to get it. So I think there's a disconnect there where we need to tell these soldiers
kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah. Because if they know they only have to serve a couple more years and they could go use their VA loan, I mean,
it may be a motivating factor for some.
Yeah, and most people would be like, oh, let me stay in this little extra couple of years so then I can get that home loan after.
Sure.
Because really, it's qualifying for it is not that hard. As long as you have the eligibility for it, you can do it all day long pretty much. As long as you get decent credit and everything.
That's awesome.
But I think that's the biggest hurdle, is getting education out there.
Sure.
Just for agents too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we can definitely get our heads together and figure out ways we can maybe do classes locally and start bridging that gap together, because I love that. And I know there's a couple local places like Homes for Heroes and stuff like that. I feel like those are programs that aren't as well known as they should be for service that these individuals are giving to our country. So thank you for your service as well. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Give us like a really fun client success story. What's one of your favorites to date?
Well, in general, I always love when I have clients that have kids and it's maybe their first house the kids ever had.
Okay.
I did one earlier this year. She was about 5, and when we kept going to look at houses, finally found one that she loved and had a little stage for her that she was like, oh, this is going to where I can dance and stuff.
Stop.
And that's the one we ended up buying and everything. And she couldn't shut up during the closing about like where she was going to put everything. And her parents were like, how are you going to afford all that? I was like, I got you. And so it was hilarious the whole time.
Yeah, she sounds so like a character.
And usually it's when I have clients that have been looking for a while. Those are like my biggest one. Like I had one where we looked for 8 months. Just off and on kind of deal until we finally found something. I think those are the most rewarding because you spend so much time talking with somebody. You get to know them a lot and everything. And then it's kind of weird when you don't talk to them or don't talk to them as much anymore because now the process is over.
Yep.
And, it's still...
You build those relationships and you're like, wait, I miss my friend.
You still keep in touch with them, but it's not as often in common.
Yeah, because like when you're in file, how often are you talking to somebody realistically through a file? I know it depends on the client and the deal itself.
If it's a buyer, usually in the beginning, the first 2-3 weeks, like we're talking like every other day.
Yeah.
When it comes to like inspection, appraisal stuff. Once we get through the inspection appraisal, I tell everybody that's kind of the quiet time. If you're hearing from me, it's usually something, it's a 50-50 shot. It's good or bad.
Right.
Because once we're through the inspection and appraisal, it's really just like, we're just waiting for the closing date.
Yes, we're crossing T's, dotting I's, getting the paperwork in order.
So it's really not too much communicating at that point. But until we find the house too, that's when there's a lot of communication because constantly sending emails like, hey, I saw this house. What do you think about it? Stuff like that.
Sure.
And then going to see them and everything. So usually before contract, it's a very often like not transaction, but communication.
Sure.
And then it starts slowing down, and then you get the quiet period.
Sure.
That's a little joke I throw in. It's like if you hear from me and you see my name come up,
50-50.
50-50. Just be prepared. I may tell you some bad news or something we're working through, or something like that. Because usually I like to, when I receive a problem, say like from the lender or title, I try getting it sorted out first, then bring them like, hey, we have this issue. Here's a solution for it. We're working through it.
Yeah.
I don't want to call people like, hey, here's the problem. We don't have a solution yet. Start freaking out.
I agree with that. Because then it causes panic.
Yes. I'm like, hey, these are the solutions we have. What do you want to do? Also, I'm big on like giving people options.
I agree.
Because there is probably a way like, hey, this is a guarantee, or like, hey, this is what I would do. But I'm like, hey, we could do this. This is like my top opinion, or you have these other 2 options. What do you want to do?
It allows them an opportunity to kind of control the situation, but it's having that leader for them, guiding them through the process that kind of makes what could be like a fire situation come to like a very like small. Like, no, I can take out.
I think everyone wants options too at the end of the day.
For sure. I'm type A. I'll go cuckoo crazy.
But it also depends on the client too. Some clients, they need a bunch of options. Some clients are like, just tell me what you want done.
Yeah, and I'll do it.
And do it.
Yes.
Like the last one I closed, he was just like, all right, what do you think? I was like, I think this. He's like, all right, get it done. Sometimes it's weird when I don't get the fight back because I'm used to people being like, oh, well, what if we do this?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, people are just like, oh, all right, whatever you want to do.
They trust you.
Which it's nice, but again, I need a little bit of like hesitation.
Sure.
Be like, well, what if we did this? I'm like, well.
Sometimes it's nice to talk it out.
Yeah.
I do best when I talk it out because then I'll think of so many different ideas. Like my brain will just start going in a million different directions. Yeah. And so I like having that back and forth. Yeah. But how do you build trust with new clients? Like, how do you get them to that point where you say, hey, look, I may come to you later in the file with a problem, and they just know that they can trust you?
I think it comes back to like what I told you earlier. It's like, I just tell people the truth. Even if sometimes people are like, oh, why would you tell me that? I'm like, well, because that's the truth. Yeah. That's
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah. It's a possible situation, a possibly bad thing. Like when I'm looking at a house too, I'm like, oh yeah, there's crack here, there's this problem here. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even see that. I think that kind of stuff builds the trust.
Sure.
I mean, if I see something, I feel like I just have to point like, oh, there's a crack coming from the ceiling right there, or this floor is loose. I just at least have to say it. And if they still like it at the end of the day, that's their choice, their prerogative, but
Yeah.
at least have to say something.
You're doing your due diligence.
Yeah. So I think that's where it comes in. And I think very patient, monotone. Like, if you see me angry, it's not good.
I can't imagine.
I've only been angry like a handful of times I can count, like very angry. But that's just, I guess, who I am. It's just, Amanda says it's emotional maturity.
I like that word. I like that word a lot. And that probably does go back to the National Guard of not feeling your emotions on your sleeve all the time and having to stay calm in stressful situations.
And too, because like the military, like there'll always be some hiccup or some issue that comes up every single time. You had to wait for that other shoe to drop all the time because you knew it was going to come. So I think that just
kind of prepared you, because that's real estate.
Yeah.
A shoe can drop. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to resolve that problem, but there's a lot of times where it just might happen. Things,
Yeah, and that's, like I said, everything in real estate is always going to be something different. You're not going to have a 100% smooth transaction, or a house is 100% perfect, and understanding how you can get over some of those hurdles, because there's a solution to everything.
Yeah.
It just matters, like, one, how much does it cost to get over that hurdle or not? That's my big thing.
What's realistic?
Yeah.
What advice would you have to your younger self who is studying for your real estate exam, not knowing the journey you were going to take over the next 4 years?
Ooh. That one's a tough one.
I know. I'm sorry.
I guess start sooner. I wish I would have started sooner.
Okay.
I guess that's what I would have told myself, is like, get in when you're 18. Because
I had a lot of people say that, but I think for me, sometimes though, if I would have started sooner, I don't think I would have taken it as seriously.
I guess that's an individual type thing too.
For sure. I only stayed it for 2 years, so
Yeah. But also, I mean, it would be a harder time being younger and everything like that. But if you have the right, I guess,
mindset, I think that changes everything.
And want to make successful. But no, I don't think I would have changed anything.
That's good. That's awesome.
But I like the I guess direction we're going right now and everything like that. And again, you're gonna have bad years, you're gonna have good years. Like probably during COVID, a lot of people were selling a bunch, making a lot of money. Now things have slowed down.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you put that energy now too?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have really high years and really low years.
And it's finding the consistency.
Yes. I think that's where a lot of people struggle with too, is they'll have really one good year and they go buy a bunch of stuff or get the new house. Then the next year isn't as productive, and now you're like trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, finding the gaps.
Yeah. And so just preparing yourself too, because a lot of people don't think about, when they think about, you talk about commission and stuff like that. They don't think about the splits with the brokerage, the taxes. Like, we don't pay taxes now, but the taxes at the end of the year.
Taxes at the end of the year suck.
They hit you hard.
Ugh.
And so you got to plan for that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, and then you have like your own fees and signs and marketing materials and events and stuff like that. It all adds up.
It does, and that's what I think people don't think about either as well. Is it can add up. The taxes is what really hurts us.
That was always painful. That was my first year in real estate. I actually hired a CPA. And I called my man Lonnie. I'm like, just like, can you give me a couple hours before you tell me the number? Like, I'm not mentally prepared for this number yet, Like, I would put some money to the side, but every time I heard it, I was like, no, I want it.
But that's
the nature of the beast.
Yeah, that's the price to pay. Like, and two, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because if you really have a lot you have to pay in taxes, that means you had a really good year.
Exactly. It's a blessing. It is a blessing.
It just hurts.
It's just the physics, like it just, like you said, it just hurts.
Yeah.
What would you call, like, I know that real estate is kind of an unconventional career, but what are milestones look like? What do milestones look like for you? What are things that you've been proud of over the last 4 years?
Really, I guess, first thing is getting to the volume that I'm at now. Last year, I doubled my volume. This year, I've done the same volume I did last year already. I still have a couple more months left.
That's awesome.
So I am happy for that. And now I have people reaching out to me, friends, family, strangers, stuff like that, now calling me, asking for help. Before, the first couple of years is me calling everybody in the world, being like, hey, you want to buy a house, right?
Yeah.
Now it's more people are like coming to find me because now they see what I'm doing and seeing that this is an actual thing I'm doing a career. And that's been big. A little side one is I beat an appraiser a couple months ago. I had the buying side.
Okay.
And they appraised it for about 20,000 lower than what we had on the contract for. My client really wanted the house, but he wasn't going to pay the 20K difference, and the seller couldn't pay the 20K difference either. He was already lower on his equity. He didn't have any equity in the house.
Sure.
So I had to send the appraiser new numbers and new houses and everything because I also didn't like his numbers to begin with. And so when I sent them in, he initially was like, no, I'm not changing it. Then a couple of days later, I guess he looked at them, changed it, and reflected the new price.
The new price. Nice.
So apparently that doesn't happen very often.
No.
So I was happy to put that under my belt as like, hey,
that's fun.
And I was on the buy side too. Usually that happens on the selling side.
Sure.
You never really have a buyer that's like, no, fight the price because they want to get it lower. But in this situation, no one was gonna win.
Everybody's gonna walk out with an L.
Yes. But beating the appraiser, I like to say beat because
I think that's the right word. If there's another word, I don't know it.
but yeah, so that was a big thing I did this year too, which I'm proud of. I say like milestones. There's like the little victories for me, like
it's all relative.
Like
because for some people, sometimes it doesn't mean numbers. Sometimes it's beating an appraiser. It's getting this house for this client. Like it's different in this industry. What would you call your next goals? Like, what's the next thing on your to-do? Is it growing the team? Is it growing your volume?
Well, right now, not much focus is out besides like work and then getting ready for my wedding next month.
Yes, so congratulations.
That's been a lot of this year too, is all that. And now we're in the crunch time. So that's my next milestone.
Yes, that's a really big one.
Is getting married and going on a honeymoon, coming back and recollecting myself and all right, this is real world now.
Gathering back up for next year.
So next year, I'm always like, hey, I want to at least hit what I did last year and grow. Each year, I just tell myself, even if it's $100,000, in volume or something like that, or 200, as long as I improve some, that's what I look at. Like any little bit of improvement is a win for me.
1% better still ends up 100% at the end of the day. Well, after.
So like, some people are like, oh, I want to do 10 million, 20 million next year, or they set unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I just want to do better than I did last year.
Yeah.
That's always my end goal. I don't say like, oh, I'm going to do this number, do that number. I'm just going to do better next year. And that's how I guess I look at it.
I think it's realistic, and I think it's obviously working for you. And I think that you've been doing a fantastic job. We get to talk to your clients all the time, and they love working with you. We love working with you. If somebody's watching this video and they take one thing away about working with you, what do you want that to be?
I guess have patience, like if it takes us 6 months to find the right house, or takes you 6 months to get your credit where it needs to be, or save enough money, have that patience, because the right house for you and your family is going to be there. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually we will get you there. As long as, I guess, you put that trust into me, my team, and everything like that, we will get you there eventually. I never want people to feel like, oh, I need to do this or have to do this.
Yeah.
I want you to want it, and also to be the best for you.
Yeah.
Because you never want anyone to be house poor. I never want a client to call me a year later like, hey, I need to sell my house, and
or have regrets.
Yeah, or I can't afford this and everything like that. That's my biggest fear, is like having someone reach out because of that, or I didn't do enough to set them up to be like, hey, this is how much it's going to cost. This is how much all this everything is.
Yeah.
And it was a bad decision for them.
Right.
So if it takes us time, that's okay. So the patience thing, because a lot of people are like, oh, my friend just bought a house, or this, I need to buy a house. I'm like, well, can you do it right now? Is what I start off with. Do you have the funds to do it? We can figure anything out. I just need that transparency and patience.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I love it. I think that's so you. I've never used that word to describe you, but I'm probably going to overuse it moving forward because it totally describes you and the way you approach business. So thank you so much for sitting down with us today. We appreciate working with you and we can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.